The thing I've learned over the years is just keep moving forward. I mean, it's the idea that there are days that are really stressful and that suck, and you don't know how to solve it, and you're out of money. And I guess I'm living proof of you just keep going forward day after day, and it's possible. My name's Matt Hickson. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Tellagence. We started in Portland in 2011, so this year's 15 years. Tellagence started out as mapping networks of people on social media, understanding how word of mouth traveled. We've been through a lot of iterations over the last 15 years, almost gone broke a few times, should have probably died a few times. But I'm too stubborn to do that, so we're still here. And now that AI is cool, we're having a resurgence. We've been doing AI since the beginning and different forms of it. But yeah, now that AI is cool, we've launched a product about 7-8 months ago, finally. I've done a lot of consulting work for YouTube and Google over the years that have kept us alive, and they're by far our best customer, and found ourselves in a services business that we didn't expect to be in also. So
nice. 15 years ago, what originally inspired you to work on this problem?
I mean, 15 years ago, it was, if you can remember back that far, it was the beginning of Twitter, what's still called Twitter back then. I was fascinated. I was working at Tripwire here in Portland at the time. Ran a startup inside of Tripwire. And we were using Twitter to engage with this audience that was talking about virtualization. And I thought there had to be a more strategic way to do this than just random serendipity to whoever I would run into or interact with on the internet. And so I wanted a more strategic way to do that, a more thoughtful way to do that. I met my co-founder, Nitin Mayande, who was the brains behind it. He's a PhD student from PSU. And he had a way that we could actually look at these communities and figure out who the half a dozen people we should connect with were. And so it made a lot of sense to me from a community building point of view versus a random attack point of view.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I love how you've been doing AI the whole time. It just wasn't really like classified.
We get a lot less weird looks when we walk in and try to explain what we're doing, when we can just say we do AI and they're like, oh, okay,
cool. Yeah, like the cool kids. Shifting gears a little bit, I find that founders are often the best mentors for other founders, especially folks who've been doing it as long as you have. What's one piece of advice you would give to somebody who's either just starting out or maybe considering making the leap into starting a company?
It's hard. I guess the thing you have to love what you're doing. It can't just be like, well, I could make some money doing this. That doesn't work. Because most times there's not money in this, at least at the beginning. My wife jokes that she married a CPA, an accountant, and now I'm an entrepreneur, and that's totally radically different versions of steady state income. Mm-hmm. I guess I just say you got to love what you're doing. You got to believe in what you're doing first and foremost, because it's hard. So
along that journey that you're on, is there something you find yourself coming back to time and time again? It could be a book, it could be a podcast, could be I have to get to the coast every month or I go insane. Like is there something you use as a touchstone on a regular basis to support you on your journey?
Probably not the things I should, like exercise and sleep. Like I think my baseline of stress is bad at this point, but no, there's like no book. My co-founder Nitin has ruined business books for me and things like that. He jokes like Malcolm Gladwell. Everybody loves Malcolm Gladwell, and Nitin points out to me like Malcolm's a fiction writer. Like there's no research behind what he's doing. It's just observation. So Nitin's kind of ruined business books for me as far as like that being a crutch. My family, when I started this, I had 3 toddlerish kids, and now my oldest is 21 and married, and my youngest is 17 and about to graduate high school soon. I think the touch point is that, when I first raised money, I had my first panic attack, not to scare all entrepreneurs. But the thing I've learned over the years is just keep moving forward. I mean, it's the idea that there are days that are really stressful and that suck, and you don't know how to solve it, and you're out of money. And I guess I'm living proof of you just keep going forward day after day, and it's possible, right? I mean, and that's the best advice because there will always be a new problem. So yeah, it's here's what I would go back to, Rick.
Yeah.
Seen the movie The Martian?
Yes.
Okay. The very last scene of The Martian, he's teaching to this group of students, and he says they all want to know like how he survived being left on Mars, and his statement was, just solve the problem that's in front of you, and the next problem, and the next problem, and if you solve enough problems, you get to go home. Like that's kind of what it's like being an entrepreneur. So
Yeah, fully agree. That's a great analogy for it. Well, Matt, I really appreciate you carving out time and providing insights and advice for us. How can we, the listeners, be most helpful to you right now?
there's a lot of new things coming from Tellagence. Just take a look. And if it's relevant to you or somebody you know, pass it along. And if I can be of help to you, let us know. So,
Do you have a startup story to tell? I would love to hear from you.